Hello everybody, welcome to today's video. Today we are going to decode McKinsey interviews. Well, who doesn't like decoding McKinsey interviews, right? So let's jump into it right away. This video is divided into three parts. Number one, understanding the format of the interview. Number two, what is the interviewer's perspective? And number three, what are the subtopics within these interviews? Okay, let's jump right away into the first one, that is format of the interview. And before we jump into the format of the interview, quick request. Please press the like button and also share it with your friends who are preparing for McKinsey interviews. Both you and I will get some good karma and the channel will also continue to grow. This will help me also to keep motivated and publish more videos. Alright guys, so let's jump into the first part of the video, that is format of the interviews. Now imagine you have some good news. You are invited for the first round of interviews. What does inviting for the first round of interview means? You will be interviewed twice in round one. Okay, two different people trying to evaluate you. Now both these guys, one of them might like you, one of them might not like you. Still doesn't matter, because end of the day both these guys come together and say that, hey, Pawan is a good guy, we should pass him on to the next round. Both of these guys should agree, or both of these guys should otherwise agree on the fact that, hey, Pawan is not a good guy, so we are not passing him on to the second round, right? Either of these situations, they have to agree on one single outcome. So it doesn't matter if the interviewer is good or the interviewer likes you, or if the interviewer doesn't like you, it just doesn't matter. This is a very objective evaluation. Okay, now what does the objective evaluation mean? The interviewer has a few specific questions and you are being evaluated against these questions, and there are set of answers that these interviewers have. So they are evaluating you against these answers. That's it. Nothing else. So rest assured, you can be super relaxed. You are not there to impress the interviewer. Also, the interviewer also knows that fact. So the interviewer is also trying to help you out and make sure that actually you succeed in this interview. It's a very funny thing. Not many places I have noticed where the interviewers are actually welcoming. They make sure that, hey, you are easing out and you are ready to give your best. All these things usually don't happen in interviews, but McKinsey interviewers are trained to do that. They want to make sure that the candidates are giving 100% in every single interview. Okay, so that's it. Please be relaxed. If there is one takeaway in this video so far, you have to be relaxed and also press the like button. Okay, now going into the second part, that is understanding the interviewer. As I already mentioned, the interviewer has a set of questions and also a set of answers against which they should be evaluated. You are not asked to come up with what are the questions as well. Okay, this is not an interviewee-led case. These are interviewer-led interviews. What does interviewer-led interviews mean? That, hey, all the questions are coming from the interviewer and you are just answering them as a candidate. In the alternate scenarios, the interviewers basically give you the freedom to actually come up with questions and answers. Okay, McKinsey is a super structured place. The interviews are also super structured, so you are not going to go through the pain of coming up with the questions as well. Okay, now jumping in, this will help you make sure that, hey, you are not coming up with unnecessary clarifying questions. If an interviewer is giving you something, please take that information, please go through the details and then come up with the appropriate answer. Okay, I hope that helps. These are interviewer-led interviews and interviewers are nice people who are ready to help you out throughout the interviews. Now moving on into the sub-components of the interview, that is your personal experience interview and your case interview. Let's start with personal experience interview because it's the most ignored child all the time. But I have seen candidates who did exceptionally well in their case interviews and did not clear the personal experience interviews. Please don't get into that trap that, hey, I don't need to prepare for personal experience interviews. If you don't prepare, you won't clear. As simple as that, guys. So please prepare. Now, let me help you out with a few things in this personal experience interviews. The first thing, these interviews are about you. Usually, I'm not a person who asks you to speak about you. I always ask you to speak about we, your team and all that stuff. But these are personal experience interviews. So you are asked to talk about you. What did you do? What were your contributions? How did you handle a specific situation? So please focus a lot more on you. Okay. The second thing, you need to be ready to give away a lot of details. What did you do? What did you say? What did you think? Why did you react like that? Right? So the devil is in the details. You can come up with a good experience and you can say that, hey, I can speak anything about that experience. But trust me, if you are not prepared, you can't come up with these answers in the interview. You will be probably a little bit stressed out. Even though I'm asking you not to stress out, you will still be a little stressed out. So the best way is, please prepare along these dimensions. Hey, why did you do that? What was the exact thing that you did? How did you react? What were you thinking? Please prepare for these answers as well before the interview itself. Now, the third thing, because I'm asking you to prepare, please don't prepare 4 stories and don't even listen to the question. No, that's not what I meant. Please listen to the question and say the prepared stories, and highlight the points according to what the interviewer is asking. Okay, so these are the 3 or 4 things that you need to keep in mind. Please talk more about you. Okay, please prepare for the details, and also make sure that, hey, you are not bringing up the canned stories, but rather you are contextualizing depending on the question that you hear from the interviewer. Again, guys, simple request, please don't ignore this. This is a super important part of the entire interview, and you are being evaluated on this part as well. So please prepare. Now, I will link another video over here where I have talked in depth about how to crack these personal experience interviews. Please go through that if you are preparing for these interviews. Now, the second part of the interviews, or the most important part as per you, I'm not saying that, okay? Most important part is case interviews. Well, case interviews, if you actually go into McKinsey website, it is super interesting. Please go to McKinsey website, rather search for McKinsey interviews. You will have 7 practice cases, and you go through these 7 practice cases and you will have every single information that you need. You will understand what are the questions that will be asked in the case interviews. Number 1, you will be asked to structure a problem. Number 2, you will be given some data and asked to do the math. Number 3, you will be asked to analyze a graph. And finally, conclude the case. Right? If you go through these 7 cases, you will realize that there is no rocket science in here, or this is not the information that is coming from my mouth. It is already in there. The only thing that we are going to talk about is how do you optimize your chances and how do you answer to these questions to the best of the abilities. Number 1, comprehending the question statement. Right? Comprehending the question statement means that, hey, you and interviewer are aligned and are on the same page with respect to the problem you are solving. Most of the times, what happens? The interviewer is thinking that, hey, the problem is about revenues, whereas the candidate is thinking the problem is about cost. Happens more often than what you can imagine, guys. Yes, I have seen that situation multiple times. So what you need to do, you need to paraphrase the entire case statement that you have heard and repeat it to the interviewer. That's a very easy way, and that's also a very important way to make sure that you and interviewer are also on the same line with respect to the final objective. Number 2, these are interviewer-led cases. What does interviewer-led cases mean? That, hey, these guys come up with the questions and you have to come up with the answers. So, not a lot of scope for clarifying questions. If you are coming up with a clarification question, right? You prepared for your interviews with your friends and you know that, hey, I need to ask these standard 5 clarifying questions. No, please don't do that. If you ask a clarifying question, you should be also able to tell why you are asking that question. If the client situation is that, hey, the revenues are falling, and if you come up with a clarification question that, hey, can you please tell me more about the competitors? If the interviewer asks you, hey, why do you need that information? You should not wear a blank face and start looking here and there. Okay, that's not the right thing. You should be able to say that, hey, I need competitor information because I want to understand if the entire revenue lost by the client is being captured by one competitor or multiple competitors. Right? That's a fair reason why you need that information. But because you prepared in a textbook and you are coming and asking some standard template questions, it doesn't fly. Please be ready to answer why you need that specific information as well. Okay? Now, the second thing that we need to jump onto is structuring the problem. I hope you got the points about comprehending the problem statement. Now is about structuring the problem. Structuring the problem, the most common thing somebody will do. If the client statement is, hey, the revenues are falling, people will start saying answers like, hey, because competition is high, because marketing is not good, because regulations are unfavorable, because the market dynamics are changing, because the client capabilities are also declining, because X, because Y, because Z. By the time you come to the 10th point, the interviewer is forgot what you said first. The interviewer is also losing interest, right? These things should not happen. So you need to be super structured. Structured in the sense you need to start grouping things. I'll link another video over here so that you can go deep dive into the case interview preparation. Let me repeat it. Most importantly, please don't give out laundry lists. Nobody will remember anything. Okay? The third part is about analysis. Analysis is an interesting thing because folks believe that, hey, when you are given a number, you need to talk through a lot about these specific numbers. No, the cases are not just about numbers. Cases are about implications and what that number actually means. So please come up with a hypothesis. Don't leave a number as it is. Say that, hey, the number is X. So X implies ABC, whatever, right? So please give the hypothesis of what that X means to you in the case context. And finally, concluding the case statement. This is very interesting and important because the entire case discussion will take 20-30 minutes and folks forget what is the objective you get started with, right? So finally, when they conclude, they say that, hey, depending on the last question, this is what the client should do. No, you should go back and say that, hey, this was the original objective to increase revenues or to understand why revenues are declining. So these are the 3 potential recommendations for the client. 99% of the candidates forget what the original case statement is. Okay, so please don't fall into these traps. These are all avoidable traps, guys. If you prepare well, you can avoid all these traps. I hope this is helpful. So these are the 3 components. And let me reiterate or let me say you something different as well in the same context. 1, for a lot of us, it's not actually the interview preparation, but actually getting that interview itself is also very tough, right? You need to improve your profile. How can you improve your profile? There are 100 different ways. There's a lot of confusion. Some people say that, hey, please go and participate in college activities. Some people say that, hey, college activities are not helpful. A lot of people are confused about how you can actually improve your profile. So there is an info session regarding one specific way on how you can actually improve your profile. We have seen that working for candidates who finally got offers at MBB firms. So please sign up for that info session. It's from Blue Chapter. Please go sign up for that info session in the description box and we'll see you for that info session tomorrow. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. And we look forward to seeing you in the future videos. Again, if you like this video, please press the like button. Thank you. Take care. Bye.